So there's a rather silly debate going on about what the best TV right now currently on the market is. And what I'm going to do is go only from the year currently, 2023, and just let you know what the best TV right now. And I mean, we're not talking best in terms of like maybes or kind of sortas. We're talking about the absolute best TV at any price point, regardless of your budget or any of that stuff, which one the best one is. That is going to be the Samsung S95C. So we did that in under 30 seconds. Smack a like on this video for getting to the point. Now I'm going to tell you exactly why that is, and then at the end maybe you can let me know whether you agree or disagree. So for starters, there is nothing on the market right now that is going to come close as far as the color coverage that this thing is kicking out. And that means HDR specifically, when you hit BT 2020, is just unbelievably well-rounded, right? You're seeing things that you just never saw on HDR, and it really gives such another level. And I don't understand, and this is just a little personal, like, feeling, I guess, or opinion, if you will, okay? I truly do not understand how we are even holding a debate that Quantum Dot OLED isn't immediately the best right now because of the amount of color that it kicks off, right? So when you're talking about WOLED, yes, the LG G3 is immediately a wonderful competitor. Brilliant highlights where they need to be placed, the sun in the sky, the moon on a dark backdrop, it doesn't matter. It looks amazing. Motion is super fluid and colors are beautiful. But beautiful is not the next level. And that's what Quantum Dot OLED gives all of us. And I don't understand how, if you had the money to go buy an LG G3, why you wouldn't instead go for something that can kick out way more color. Now, I've shown this in prior videos, but for everyone that likes to say that Samsung's oversaturated or they're just straight up inaccurate, not only have I shown this exact Samsung S95B up against TVs that were said to be the most industry accurate, but I've also shown Samsung surpassing them in terms of skin tonality and accuracy overall where things should be placed. So I think it's this weird, almost like beef or war that goes on within brands or factions of customers where they kind of hunker down in a particular niche or a particular brand and they say, I like this thing and I'm not going to budge. But I think it's so limiting because when there's technology like QD-OLED, this is when you want to jump forward and say, you know what? I'm going to get behind this because this is truly the next level. This is what I'm working my ass off for when I buy a TV or a luxury purchase, right? And it's so amazing that, honestly speaking, you don't have to do anything else with the S95C. Now, again, as mentioned, I'm rocking the S95B. Now, my personal best TV ever is this TV in front of me right now. However, the S95C is its predecessor, not to be confused with the S90C, which is a step down from where we are here. Now, the S95C, another thing that makes it really amazing is that One Connect box. Not having to have a bunch of wires kind of stuck behind your TV gives you freedom to do a lot as far as some really creative setups. That is really good for wall mounters, but also tabletoppers that just don't want a cluster of wires hanging out of the back of their television. The sound on it's really good, it's really lightweight, and honestly speaking, there really isn't a better picture. Like, if you're comparing, like, the Samsung, S90C, the LG C3, G3, right now, the Sony X95L, X93L, X90L. There's nothing on the market right now that is going to beat that. Now, of course, we're all waiting for, I imagine, a mid to late October release of the Sony A95L. Okay, but that's so far down the line right now that it's kind of like most of the year is over before that TV even launches, and we'll be closer into 2024 before that TV even fully takes off as far as like sales go. So as far as the year and the biggest performer of the entire year, you're looking at it with Samsung. And I think the more people have these conversations about the best TV, it's got to be obvious. Let's have the dialogue now. Let me put this out there now. You will not find a TV better than a Quantum Dot OLED. It is just point blank period. That is the next level of television innovation. And the fact that it's being almost downplayed or kind of mitigated to like, oh, it's just that one thing they did to make Samsung stand out. It's oversaturated and cartoony. You are looking at scene after scene after scene after image just look incredible on this QD-OLED. And the newer one looks every bit as good in a lot of ways. Now, there were some scale backs comparatively to the S95B, which I've shown in my comparison video if you want to check that out to see what those are. But comparatively to everything else that came out in 2023 that I've reviewed, that others have reviewed, I'm sorry to tell you, this is the top. This is the absolute pinnacle. There is nothing higher. Now, I will say Samsung needs to work on motion because right now motion is just good. LG with the G3, that motion is great, right? That is like the best that you want, right? But that's the problem here. It gets so trade-off like where you have to choose what you get and what you don't get. But ultimately speaking, as far as like giving the overall experience, Samsung's got it down. They've got the highlights, they've got the brightness, they've got the sound, they've got the colors. I mean, really, they've got the features. There's not really much that you could want outside of the long tested and true Dolby Vision. And I think that's where everybody kind of becomes divided and kind of still squints at Samsung. Now, I'll just put this out there. I don't watch HDR very often at all, if ever, but when I do, I still don't see a problem with HDR10. And if you look it up, there are many comparisons showing HDR10 versus Dolby Vision, and you can see that Dolby Vision actually lacks the brightness and the intensity behind the color, looking more washed by comparison to HDR10. So pretty much anytime you can lock in HDR10, you're usually better doing that anyway. And again, to each their own, not here to start a debate, if you will, in that particular area, maybe at a later date. But what I will say is, if you're looking for the best TV on the market right now, that there's just no doubt, there's just no kind of question. Quantum.OLED is where you ought to be putting your money because that is the future. That is where we are headed. Bright, colorful TVs with perfect black levels, solid motion, and all the features of all the other TVs. Agree or disagree, let me know down below. And as always, I want to thank you guys for watching the #1 brand in honesty. And until the next video, I'll see you guys later.